Hello, welcome to Planetary Evolution, a space to discuss our path to peace and consciousness. I'm your host, Jared Angaza. I'm coming to you today, July 7th, 2016, right on the heels of yet another police shooting of a black male. Let's talk. Our political system, our economic systems, they are designed to manipulate and control society. I think we know this. This is becoming more of a widespread conversation, more of a public discussion. They use the media, obviously, as the greatest tool to infiltrate our minds and to brainwash us and to keep us paralyzed in fear and a sense of scarcity. We live in an abundant world, yet we so often are operating from a standpoint of scarcity. We, the people, continue to allow this to happen, forgetting that we are the people that this is supposed to be for, our government, our systems, and so on. We can fight back with violence. We've seen that. But that violence is part of the system. That's what perpetuates that system. It feeds it. It's part of it. So when we engage in that violent reaction, even to something violent, as we say, or as Gandhi said, violence begets violence. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, and so on. If you are a tyrannical government, let's just say, and you want to keep people under your control, the easiest way to do that is to always keep them divided. Case in point, we see that every single day. However, we have the power to resist that. And I mean, resist it in our lifestyle. We have the power to conduct sit-ins and things like that. But we have the power for nonviolent resistance. And we've seen the beauty of movements like that, like with the civil rights movement, and the power that nonviolent resistance has. It is a long-term game, and it requires a lot of patience. There's the rub. We're kind of a microwave nation. We want everything right now, just like that. But we have the power to resist the tyranny that oppresses us. We need to resist the lure of some of the things, the status and the buying habits and the things that we're constantly enticed with this little carrot hanging out in front of us. But these things are destroying our planet, and they're destroying our society, and we're daily engaging in that process or not. We're choosing not to withstand. So we're either in a short-term game or a long-term game. We have the power, though. And in America, we have a situation that needs our power. We have an institutionalized racism that is reaching epidemic levels in the United States. We have violence that's reaching pandemic levels in the United States. And now, today, we're coming off the heels of 2 days in a row of police shootings of black males. We have Alton being shot, and we've seen the videos and know how outrageous the entire thing was. That's sparking off more fear, more anger. We have the Philando Castile situation that happened just today, and this guy is an unarmed cafeteria supervisor at a Montessori school. He was not a threat. He had no criminal record. Nothing was going on. Shot in his car in front of his wife and child. And other things ensued. This is the 154th black male that was killed by police this year. By the way, in the last 3 years in Baton Rouge, every single person that was killed by police, was black. I have to wonder, at what point are we going to recognize that we're not making the progress that we could be making? We're making technological progress like you wouldn't believe. It's mind-blowing. But when it comes to race, when it comes to people, when it comes to how we interact in the bigotry that we see coming out, spewing out of the mouths of people like Donald Trump, and I'll try and refrain. But when are we going to recognize that we have a serious problem right there, and is deteriorating our society? We have a mass shooting issue going on in the United States. And in addition to that, we have over 138 this year. We have, obviously Orlando, that just happened, and we're becoming desensitized to it. And I think we have to at some point say, when is enough enough? Our capitalism, that agreement, and it is an agreement, is nothing more than that. But it fuels all of that and is fueled by that. Our media publicizes and promotes it. It allows us to be controlled and keeps us divided. And at what point, I ask, will we turn away from our lust for control, because that's what this is about, capitalism, and start choosing peace? Doesn't mean we can't have some sort of trade agreements and exchange. It means that we need to start valuing peace more than we value control. But that takes patience. War is not an act of patience, obviously. It's saying, well, we could go in and create great relationships, or we could just bomb them and take what we want and whatever, and it's going to cause other things that cause problems and so on, but ultimately that's going to fuel our economic system as well. War, it's an income generator. Simple as that. Serves no other purpose. Our resistance is going to take a lot of patience, a lot of peace, a lot of love, a lot of resilience. Because when you're being beaten down, you want to fight back. You're going to have to be resilient. It's been a very difficult journey for me in that regard, as a bit of a fighter. We have to practice nonviolence resistance. We have to be love in everything that we are and in all that we do. Otherwise, we're just fueling part of that same system that we're trying to curb. And I can't be a part of that anymore. I believe that one of the biggest contributors to all of this is apathy. We're becoming numb. We live in a noisy world. We're being desensitized to the contrast and this convergence of violence and scarcity and all these things that come at us through our media and the sensationalism and so on. And we're becoming desensitized to that to the extent that these mass shootings and the institutionalized racism and all the other aspects of the economic inequality and so on that we see, it's just becoming like it's today's headline. We're being desensitized to all of that. As that apathy strengthens, we go deeper into the hole that we need to be getting out of. So when will it stop? When will it be enough? Well, when will enough people die? When will we care enough to get involved, to step out of our apathy, get involved, and stand up for peace? I hope and pray that America is at some point willing to trade our lust for control for peace and unity and equality. But it starts with you. It starts with your life choices. It starts with me, with my life choices, with all of us at home. We can be apathetic. We can hide behind pessimism. As an activist, it's very easy to do that, to say, oh, well, this is terrible, this is broken, this isn't going to work, and so on and so on. What am I doing, though? If I don't create an alternative, then who cares? So then I'm just bitching, and I'm not here to do that. Sure, we'll talk about the problems, but I want to talk about solutions. How do we get to better solutions? We have to grow beyond the point of ignoring the problem. People say to me sometimes, oh, well, I'm glad I can live here in this small town and it's not affecting me. Well, sorry, those days are over. It's starting to affect everyone now. It is infiltrating everything, with our economic inequality, our institutionalized racism, our mass shootings, our lust for guns and violence, and this disgusting behavior that we have going on in the United States. It's not who we are. It's not who we were created to be. We can rise above that if we choose to rise above it. The problem that we're dealing with is perspective. Our perspective is rooted in fear. It is not rooted in love. We have to change that perspective. Until we do, through the inundation of positive influence and all these other bits of information that we could use to be creating alternatives rather than just to be bitching about the problems or in fear of the problems, we're never going to, to transcend beyond that. The symptoms are affecting us all to the extent that I think that at some point very soon, I hope, we have to wake up. We have to begin to foster that perspective that gives us new values. That's where our values come from, is our perspective. We have this perspective, and it creates our truths and beliefs and so on, and we get our values from that. And we have to start valuing peace over control, over status, over monetary gain, over comfort, over this short-term myth of security that we're fed all of the time. We have to break that cycle. And we get to break that cycle if we want to break that cycle, if we want to be part of that. We get to. If we wake up, if we engage, if we start with ourselves and realize that the revolution starts here, man. It's not just out there. It's not what I do through my computer today or through some blatantly activist act. It is through what I'm activating out of my being in every day and all of my interaction. We have to choose peace. It doesn't just fall in our lap. We have to choose to be love. There is maybe a gravitational direct, kind of pull towards not being that. And I think the reason we're here is to say, no, I will go this way. I will choose love no matter what, no matter the circumstances that happens to me, at me, around me. I will be love. Check your values. Where are they coming from? How are they being influenced? Let your life be the example of your ideals. All these things you read about and all these things that you say that should be and that you want to see. And I want to see peace. And Gandhi says, something to the effect of be the change you want to see. I don't think that we've grasped what that really means. I don't think that we realize that means that we have to go out and live the way we think everyone else should be living. It's a fine line there, but I think you can use your good judgment. That's all for today. I hope we can find peace, and I hope you are thriving. I hope that you have strength